State your name, please.
Fuad Sedan.
Say again.
Fuad Mauricio Sedan.
Okay, sir. 2025 CF 014366AO. So you're charged with aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. You do not qualify for the services of the public defender. I've reviewed the arrest affidavit in this case. Counsel, appearance? Okay. Counsel, state?
Yes, Your Honor, as, was probable cause found?
Yes, yeah, I did find probable cause.
As charged, this is an F2. The schedule is usually at least about 10, since an F2 with use of force or violence is 10,000. However, state is gonna be asking for a higher bond than the schedule based on the allegation.
I've got it set at 15.
I was gonna ask for 20. Part being.
Well,
based on
that's
the-
because of the stab wound to the heart.
Yes, Your Honor. I do believe there's been ongoing issues between the alleged victim and the defendant for a while now. However, things seem to have been escalating this past week. Upon talking to Mr. Breslin and reading the affidavit, I believe law enforcement was called out to the residence about 2 times this last week-long period based on the issues between the defendant and the victim.
Yeah, it seems like there's an ongoing thing there. Now, does he live in the same complex or?
Across the hallmates. State's concerned regarding the fairly extreme escalation. I believe it was alleged he chest bumped him.
And then threatened to punch him,
And
allegedly, so.
allegedly threatened to punch him, to which the victim pulled out a knife and stabbed him in his heart. He did have to undergo surgery, is my understanding.
I
it was
believe he was taken in critical condition, so.
It was
He's still what? Is he still in the hospital? Okay.
However, given the escalation of behavior, how close in proximity they are, and how close in proximity all of the different times law enforcement were called out, state is asking for 20,000, which is 10,000 over the schedule, and asking for all the standard conditions of no contact, no return with victims or witnesses, no objection to a one-time return for him to get any belongings. But as we did state, they are incredibly close.
Yeah, that has to be
believe-
rectified.
I believe Mr. Breslin stated they were like 10 feet apart, the doors. We would be asking for no weapons or firearms and to surrender them within 24 hours of his release. We're also requesting that he surrender his passport before release. I do believe his wife is still present in that apartment. And if he does not have one, to file an affidavit in support within 24 hours of his release if he does not have one. However, given the escalation, how close they are, and the injuries, state would argue that 20 is reasonable.
All right,
If I could be heard briefly before you make your decision, Your Honor.
he doesn't qualify.
I would just be speaking as a friend of the court on his behalf. There were just things I felt the court should take into consideration. But it is your decision, Your Honor.
I mean, he can speak for himself if he wishes to.
I act,
No.
I mean, I'm gonna give him a bond,
Yes,
so, I mean, he's entitled to one.
no, he's,
I believe probably the crux of defense's argument is, Your Honor, is I believe he has pretty much no other criminal history except a prior child abuse arrest. I can't look up the dispo of that case, I'm not sure at this time, but relatively has no prior history other than that child abuse arrest.
Okay,
and he will need to procure a private attorney as well, Your Honor.
he's good,
And
he's
I
good.
felt as if you had counted with that $15,000 number, the escalation.
Yeah.
of that.
Well, you know, I'm only privy to what I have, but the fact that, because I just saw that the victim was taken in critical condition, had to have surgery, but now I've been informed that the victim is still in ICU. I take that into consideration in setting a bond as well, because, you know, allegedly stabbing somebody in the heart over an alleged chest bump is not, as, to use the old adage, that's, that's not Hammurabi's code. That's not an eye for an eye. So, counsel, do you have anything else? Okay. All right. So, sir, I have reviewed this. As I stated, I did find probable cause. You're going to need to hire your own attorney. You are entitled to a, I see he's a citizen of Chile. There's no immigration issues? No immigration. Okay. I'm going to set your bond at $25,000. I'm going to order that you not return to the scene. I understand your wife is still there. You can return one time with the assistance of law enforcement. That's to get personal effects, but you got to find somewhere else to go.
So take my stuff out of there.
Yeah, but you got to contact the police, and the police will escort you there, especially because of the proximity, okay? You are not to possess any weapons or firearms. If you have any weapons or firearms, they must be turned over to law enforcement within 12 hours of your release. I'm just telling you. You are not to possess any, possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. You are to have no contact with either victim or witness in this case. And sir, no contact means no contact. That's either direct or indirect. That means you can't have contact through it, have a third party contact the victim. If you do, that violates your terms of your release, and you will end up right back here, and it probably won't, you know, that'll be a different, that's a bridge to cross then. Additionally, sir, if you do have a passport, you must surrender your passport since you are a citizen of Chile. If you do not have a passport, you need to file an affidavit stating that, but make sure that you understand that if you file a false affidavit, that's another charge, and it's a very serious one. So no contact with victim or witness, either direct or indirect, no return except for one time with law enforcement, no weapons or firearms, no alcohol or illegal drugs possession or consumption, surrender passport. Did I cover everything, State?
Yes, Your Honor. I believe the only thing that wasn't officially ordered is the time frame on the passport issue. We'd asked for him to surrender his passport prior to release, or the
Yes.
affidavit within 24 hours of his release.
Yeah, so sir, you need to contact your wife. Obviously, if you come from Chile, you probably have a passport, and have that turned over prior to your release.
Today.
Well, if you can, you know, you just get a hold of her and have her bring the passport in and turn it over, okay? All right? If you can't get it done, it has to be done within 24 hours of your release, or that will be a violation, okay? Or you have to do an affidavit. Understand?
I do have that.
Okay. All right, you do have a passport?
Yes.
Okay, so it needs to be turned over. All right, $25,000. Good luck, sir. Yeah, or prior to. Yeah, prior, just leave it that.